Hi guys, welcome back to the Ricky2ra podcast, episode 25. 25 episodes in, and I was going through some. Do you know what? Let's just ask how you guys are doing first before I get into detail. How are you all doing? I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope you guys are getting back to some sort of normality, whatever that is at this moment of time. But yeah, I appreciate you guys for listening and watching me once I release it on YouTube as well. So I hope you guys are all keeping well. Now, what I was going to say was I was going through some notes yesterday on what to talk about, and there was one specific topic that I wanted to talk about. So I am going to still go in the 4 topic format, but I'm going to go through that one specific topic first, which may or may not take up a little bit more time compared to the others. But yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with what's going to happen in this podcast episode. So I'll just let you guys know what's going on with the topics. So the first topic is Unmotivated. The second one is linking Polos, which I'll get into once we're on it. The third one is social media, and the last one is 2021. So before we hop into that episode, well, into them topics even, I thought I'd just let you guys know that the day looks alright, but it looks cloudy. You know, Weatherman Rick has to show up at least once every episode. But yeah, it's a nice sunrise on a morning now. So if you wake up in between like 6, 7, well, probably like towards 7, you can see like the sunrise outside your window, which is quite nice. And yeah, that's basically it in the UK today. I do have a very early delivery as well for the shop coming today. So if this podcast so happens to get cut in between because the deliveries come, I will finish it off whenever in the rest of the day, because the delivery doesn't normally come at this time. That's why I like getting it over and done with in the morning, the podcast. But if it's somehow, because it is due in the morning, so it's actually due in the next 25 minutes or to an hour, depending on if it comes or not. So yeah, just like I said before, if it gets cut, this podcast, and I do sound different towards the back end of the episode, then that's probably why it's probably been cut and I'm finishing it off in the rest of the day. But if it does not come, well, I'm still here. So let's jump into the first topic, which is unmotivated. So you know what, we speak the truth on this podcast, and I'm going to speak the truth to you guys, and I'm alright to admit it. Do you know what I mean? I think I've admitted it in the past as well. I've been feeling a bit unmotivated recently, and in the sense of like I haven't really put any ideas down for like videos that I normally do. I normally like come up with some like magic videos or like cardistry videos or like something like very creative, or at least with music in the background. But I haven't done any of them recently, and what I normally done, and I've normally work in patches. So meaning like as in the past, or maybe even earlier this year, I'd upload something to like, let's say, Instagram, and I wouldn't upload for like another 2 to 3 months at least. That's me working in patches. So then once I upload, there's this big gap in between. And during them gaps, I've just been feeling unmotivated until something hits my mind, or I find something in like my notes that I've written down, and it comes together, and then I somehow just create it, I put it out. But this time round, I actually have content to release. So even though for like the past week or so I've been feeling like unmotivated to like create more content, I kind of have like this routine now, like with the vlog, with the podcast, where I can just create content out of that and put it out, and that's like the standard, like, release for me, like content release. So, as in like, I've got that there at the front, but at the back end, I'm struggling to come up with some ideas. Whereas before, I had nothing at the front, and I was just struggling altogether. So that's kind of like helped me throughout this whole thing. So like if you look at my social medias, I've been posting quite a few edited stuff. Recently I've trying to like switch up like some photos and stuff I've took in the shop, put like an edit. I've been doing quite a lot of the what's the word, the continuous shot photos, where I have like my camera and it takes like 5 shots all together and I'm like moving at the same time. So I did that whilst I was dribbling a pack of cards actually in this seat here, which turned out pretty good, and I put like quite a few effects and filters over it. Just trying to switch the game up a little bit as well, because obviously you can post the same content, there's nothing wrong with that, but sometimes you just got to freshen it up, do you know what I mean? Like you can only hear so much of the same song from an artist until maybe you get a little bit bored of it and you kind of need that new song to keep you going, and then you can always go back and re-listen or whatsoever. So that's basically what I'm trying to do at the moment. Obviously I'm releasing the same content, but I'm trying to switch it up at the same time. So basically what I'm trying to say is I need to get my ideas rolling again for video ideas. So I'm kind of lucky now to say that I'm 25 episodes in the podcast, so I have 25 episodes to dig into to create whatever content I want. That can take me basically to the end of this year if I really want and do nothing else. Like I can just put loads of stuff out on my socials. But what I am a magician at the end of the day as well, and I'm not forgetting that. During this whole pandemic, obviously I can't perform outside. Well, I can, but during like the shop now, but that's like my main focus nearly. It's kind of hard for me to do that if I want to get out. So I'm kind of like switching it up and mixing the shop and magic together, which you guys have seen on my socials as well. So that's kind of like where I'm going towards at the moment, where I'm trying to like combine the shop and magic together in a safe way. Like I don't want to put out a video, like let's say tomorrow I put out a video and I'm like doing magic on a customer in the shop and I'm like touching his hands, like, you know what I mean, like magicians do and stuff. Like you watch that and think, what are you doing, man? Like, because it'd be so weird now looking on it, like you're in contact, you're not even keeping your distance. So there's so many measures, which I'm not complaining about. There is a way to get around it, which I have been slightly thinking about, but not took action on. But you guys know what I mean. I'm trying to like mix it up and kind of combine the two together. And I have been putting ideas down, but none of them have been executed on yet. So that's why I just need to like freshen things up, and I'm not trying to stay narrow. I'm trying to like widen all my options really, like I've been doing this year as well. So yeah, that's been on my mind. Why I've been unmotivated, I don't know. It's just a thing. It just happens. But the main thing is that I'm not beating myself up about it, and that's probably one of the best things that I've learned so far, and probably one of like the best pieces of advice I can give out to anybody that's listening or watching out there. Because I used to beat myself up quite a lot about why I haven't created something, why I haven't come up with an idea about something, and it just messes your mind up even more. So there's no point. You kind of just go with the flow. And like, let's say like you're trying to create something and you don't have nothing to put out there whilst you're trying to create something. Just don't beat yourself up about it. Just take it one step at a time, because that's happened to me before as well. So that's basically, I'm only giving advice of stuff that I've gone through or going through. So that's my advice. Don't beat yourself up. But But yeah, you kind of get out of that patch anyway. Like I've done before when I didn't have the podcast, I'd upload, like miss a month or so, upload again, and then I'd be like on a good track, and then I'd go down again and not upload, and it's kind of like in a cycle, which I finally broke. But I definitely do need to put more like magic content and stuff out there. Like I haven't forgotten about that at all, because I am a magician, and I have got a few ideas which haven't properly matched together yet. So yeah, I need to definitely write in my notepad a bit more and get some ideas down really, but not like, and I know I say this quite a lot in my podcast, like not force the content, like as in like I'm not just doing it just so, like I'm not forcing it in a way like that I have to put it out there at a certain day or time. I'm kind of like going with the flow. Like I was meant to, whilst I was on a good roll with like my content, I was meant to put out a load more magic videos, which didn't happen because it didn't, because I didn't progress in it. Okay, and I didn't beat myself up because the content that I put out earlier this year I thought was pretty good, like one of the best that I've done. So all that content that I didn't put out and haven't created yet at the start of the year, I can move it to the back end of the year as well. So it's just a matter of, motivating myself to the point where, I can create that again. Because it's not like I'm starting from zero. I've got loads and loads of ideas. It's just the executing on it. So yeah. Otherwise, I feel okay now. Like this week's been alright. So I'm kind of just building myself up again to create something, really, and that's something that I've learned as well. Like nothing, like perfectionism doesn't exist, and I know I've talked about this before. I can't remember what episode it was, but like, just do it to the best of your ability. Like for you, don't worry about what other people think, because there have been videos that I put out this year which I have thought at the back of my mind, what will people think? But then at the end of the day, like it doesn't matter, because if you're happy with it, just put it out. So yeah, perfectionism doesn't exist. It's just your work, and if you feel like that isn't your best work, but you've put it out, that like what your standard is for like the next piece of content or whatever project you're doing. So yeah, that's just that's just been on my mind, and yeah, because I can't remember what the last video I put out was actually. It could have been the cardistry mashup where I used the Ty Dolla Sign Kanye track, that Ego Death one. I think I used a snippet right at the end. I think I no, but that wasn't. Yeah, I think that was like I kind of like created a bunch of my previous cardistry videos together, put them all in one video, and then put a soundtrack over it. I think that was the last time. I think that was about 2 months ago. I think. I don't think last year I did like a proper video. Like I can't remember the last magic video I did. I don't know if it was like the one with the shop. Oh, I do actually. It was the one where I had the £20 note and I put the card through and it was inverted. Yes, I remember now. Yeah. Yeah, but I am thinking quite a lot about combining shop and magic, which I have done in the past. If you guys are interested in watching all of them videos, they're all over my socials, but you can mainly watch them on my Instagram. So at Ricky2ra, RSEKY, number 2RA. So yeah, they're mainly on my Instagram. I have one outside the shop in my YouTube video, which my dog actually gets involved in as well, which is pretty cool. So I'd check that out as well. It's called Card to Wear. But quite a lot. Like looking back on my content, it includes the shop quite a lot. But we're getting a little bit off topic because we're moving towards the shop now. So maybe that might be for another podcast episode. But just to drag this back all in is basically, don't beat yourself up. If you're unmotivated, just build yourself back up again. Don't force yourself to get more like if you're in that patch of like unmotivation, like just build yourself up. Like don't just create something whilst you're unmotivated, because it won't work out properly if you know what I mean. But anyway, that's just things from my perspective, if that made any sense or not. But anyway, yeah, let's move on to the next topic. And you know what? I've been wanting to talk about this topic for a while now. And I know I've said that for a few topics, but this topic, well, it's not even a topic, it's a story, alright? So this is basically a story, and it's going back about 8 years ago now. Okay, so I think I've talked about was it episode 2 of the podcast? I think it was episode 2 of the podcast, the how I got into magic, and I briefly talked about a story of doing a school project on your passion, where I first did magic at school for a presentation and stuff. Well, basically, continuing from that story, like at least like a month after, or 2 or 3 weeks after that happened. If you do not know what I'm talking about, I'd probably check out episode 2 just for that story. But you don't have to, because this is like the story after that. But anyway, so you're talking about 2012. I was in about year 11 at school, and obviously I started doing magic at school after that presentation, because basically like my class knew that I did magic, and like it kind of spread, like a few other people in my school knew that I did magic. So I think, like, I can't remember like how it happened, but I remember what happened, but I don't know how the build up to it happened. But I think I built up my own hype from doing magic. So I think I went to like a group of lads in my year, saying that, oh yeah, I can put like polo mints together, like I can properly like link polo mints, and everyone going, I think everyone were like saying, no, I don't think you can, and I think other people were saying, okay, like show us. So I was like, I think, like, I can briefly remember this, but I think I said, okay, I'll bring some polos in tomorrow and I'll show you at break time. So it was like break time that day, and then like everybody were like, I think it was all like the guys that I told. We had like a common room in school for like year 11, so we all chilled in there. So I was like in the common room, and I was like, alright guys, and everybody was stood there. And I pulled out some polos, and I was like, "Tumo, do you want some?" And they were like, yeah, I'll take some. And then I pulled 2 polos out of the packet, and I showed them it, and they were like, okay, cool, so link them. And then I went slowly and I did that, and I linked it properly, and I was showing them it, like swinging it in front of the face, and I think the reactions were mixed. I know some people were going like crazy. I don't know if crazy is too overreactive. Like they were overreacting like a little bit, but like they were very excited of what just happened, and yeah, it was pretty cool actually. I remember swinging the polo in front of their faces, like it was properly connected and linked together, and then they were like, "Oh, show me it," and I showed them it, and then I just ate it. I just ate the polo then after that, and I think they couldn't believe it, really. And I think that was the first piece of magic that I did that didn't include playing cards. So yeah, I think funnily enough, I think a year after Dynamo released season 3 of Magician Impossible, and he used a linking polo effect, or was it in season 2? It was either season 2 or season 3, so it might have been from that year in 2012 or the next year in 2013. He released his special, and he did one where he actually linked it together in his hand. Like he closed his fist in his hand, and then he opened it and the polos linked together, whereas I did it where I was holding it and then it linked as well. So that was pretty cool to see from Dynamo as well. But yeah, I was really gassed doing that. It was really cool. The reactions were actually great as well. I know I said it was like overreacting, but I think it's safe to say like they were great. I can't properly remember, but I'm sure if there's anybody from my school listening to this who have seen me do that, they'll know what happened. But yeah, that was just a cool story, and I've been wanting to tell that story actually. I don't think I've told it in episode 2 of the podcast, but I'd definitely check out like the first half of that story as to how I did magic in front of my class and stuff, like how that all happened. That would be that's a pretty cool story to check back on as well. But anyway, let's move on to the next topic, which is social media. Now that's a very brief topic headline, but it's basically social media. You can be anyone on social media. Like let's be real now. You can be anybody you want on social media. But is it really you? Like, this is the thing that I've been thinking about. And like, if you see somebody on social media and then you see them in real life, are they the same person or are they different? Like, you can be super cool on social media, like, yeah, I got like Rolex and I got like, girls or guys around me. I got, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then you see them in real life, like, are they that same person? Or are they being like fake, or is it actually them? Like, don't get me wrong, people are like real that do that as well, but you know what I mean? Social media kind of like flips the perspective on stuff, and I know what I'm saying, you guys probably all know anyway, like I'm just talking about basic stuff, but it's just been on my mind because recently on Instagram, I was just scrolling through Instagram the other day, and I seen I don't know if it was Complex that put it up, or like a different Instagram page, but I seen it where like there was this room, and it looked like a private jet. This room, like it looked like a place in a private jet, and it had like the private jet seat and everything. And then the caption under it was, "Influencers are taking pictures there, so it makes them look like they're on a private like jet flight." So that it has like the window and everything, but really it's just like a room. And then once you're taking your picture, you just go. And I was thinking, rah, is that real? And then I think they like included somebody else's photo, and I looked at it, and you know what? You could not tell the difference, like in the photo, because obviously the photos just of the person in the chair and the windows at the side. You would never know that that was like a fake room. You would instantly think like, oh wow, they're on like a private jet. They must be like rich or like, someone famous or something like that, or like have a good job or something. So that kind of just made me like laugh inside a little bit, like thinking like, fair enough, if you want to do that, do you. Like, I'm not judging anybody, but I'm like, for me, like I'm trying to be like as real as possible. Like I don't want it to be like, the one thing with my content, I didn't want it to be like you see something on my like Instagram or social media page and then you meet me in real life and it doesn't add up together, because I'm me on my social medias. Like obviously I'm a magician, but like it's me in real life. So like what you see in real life is what you see on my social medias as well. So like all the magic I do and stuff is me. Like if you see me in real life and ask me to do like a magic effect to you, I'm still gonna like use my same pattern, presentation, everything for my style. Like my style in real life does not change on social media, but for different people, like it can. And I'm not talking for them, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. But it just kind of did make me laugh a little bit that like people do take photos on like fake rooms and stuff like that. But just be you on social media. I know people are a bit insecure and stuff like that. Like I'm still insecure. Like don't get me wrong. Like I don't post everything on social media. Like some people probably post more of their life on social media. I don't. I just like sticking to the magic and including the shot, because I feel like that represents me. So yeah, and I've talked about this before. Like I don't tend to put a mask on social media. Like I know maybe perhaps like other people do, because it makes them feel good. maybe. Like, I'm not judging anybody. If it makes you feel good, it makes you feel good. But at the end of the day, like, if it's real life, like the real world is out there, so it's real life. So whatever's like on your account that makes you happy may not like reflect in real life. Maybe it will, maybe it doesn't. I don't know, but I'm just talking about from my perspective what I see and stuff like that. But anyway, let's move on to the last topic. And I know this podcast episode's a little bit shorter than usual, because I think I don't want to miss this delivery as well. That's going on outside, but I feel like I've talked quite a bit, and I'm happy with the topics as well that I've talked about. So let's move on to the last topic, which is 2021. And I know what you might be saying, Ricky, we're like in September, or if you're watching this on YouTube, it's October. No, it's still September, sorry. So basically we're in October. So we've got about 2 months left, alright? Are you guys doing anything in the next 2 months? Like, realistically, with everything going on? Like, there's no parties to go to, there's no events hardly to go to. Like, what are we doing realistically in 2020, like the last 2 months? I know I'm not doing anything. Like, I'd have Christmas gigs going on, there'd be like a New Year's gig going on. Do you know what I'm saying? So, like, nothing. And it's really weird to say that. That's why I wanted to talk about 2021, because I have nothing to talk about for 2020. Alright? So what's next for 2021? Well, I've put a few ideas down, but realistically, when I look at them, I don't really know. And it's a big question mark. Do you know how, like, you say, like, oh, next year I'm going to do this, this, and this? Well, this is really weird when I talk about this, because I don't really know what's going to go on next year. We can only take it one step at a time. But anyway, I've written lockdown. So basically Leeds, where I am, we're in a lockdown at the moment. So it's basically... just bear with me 1 second, podcast. We're basically like in a lockdown now, but I hope we get out of it quickly. But that's basically it. I've put magic gigs, concerts, live events. I don't know. That's basically what I've put. But this is kind of like an open question to you guys. Let me know what you guys think is going to happen in 2021. Because concerts, I can see like being like a spacious concert, maybe like distance from other people. But this is an open question for you guys. Let me know what you think 2021 is going to be like. Like this time next year, like next October maybe. What's it going to be like? Are we going to be back to normal? Who knows? But anyway, that's my question to you guys. So I hope you guys have all enjoyed this episode. I really enjoyed the topics actually on this. So yeah, I'll see you guys next week. So big shout outs to like everybody listening to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, etc. Shout outs to everyone on YouTube that's watching this as well. I really appreciate you. So hope you guys stay safe, and I'll see you next week.